Hey everybody, Zee Garcia here, and welcome to my top 10 welcoming games of 2020. Now, what am I talking about here? What is this welcoming top 10 list about? Well, what I mean here is games that I think are very easy to get into, whether you are already a gamer or especially if you are not. Some people might say gateway games, and this is sort of what that means, but not quite. These are not necessarily just games that are very simple. They also have to be, there has to be a warm quality to them. A theme might do that, for example. A simplicity, a lack of confrontation, or if there is confrontation, it's very tongue-in-cheek, or it's very mild confrontation. So that's what I'm talking about today. And these are 10 games from this year that I think do that very well. These are the kinds of games you might perhaps want to share with folks that are considering getting into gaming. They want to start off easy. They want to start off with something that's really going to be very much of a warm embrace when it comes to whatever hobby, right? So this is that for our hobby, board gaming. Let's go ahead and kick it off with my number 10. Number 10 goes to The Fox in the Forest Duet, which is a trick-taking game, much like The Fox in the Forest before it was a trick-taking game. Well, this one's for 2 players, but it is a cooperative game. You are going to be working with your partner in order to play the right cards at the right time and have everything be in balance. It's a neat game. It's also a nice way to learn some of the ideas in trick-taking because you have someone helping you along the way. You can learn together what you ought to be doing. There was another game this year, a big hit called The Crew, which was also a cooperative card game, a trick-taking game. But I find this one a little less scary. There's less pressure to do well in the Fox and the Forest Duet. That's why I recommend it. I think it's going to be a very nice, easy way to get into this style of game. So that's my 10. Number 9 goes to Fort. Now, I will say Fort is probably the heaviest game on this list. I mean the most complex one on the list, okay? But it has a really charming theme. You are kids, and you are going to be building up your fort. You're going to be collecting pizza and toys, and you're going to be bringing your friends around to help you. Those friends are going to go, they're a deck of cards, they go into your deck of cards, and then if you don't play with them for a round, and you draw that card but don't use it, well, they might wander off to another friend's yard and play with them for a while. You are going to be managing this deck of cards, managing, like I said, your resources, pizza, toys, and trying to get the most victory points. Build up your fort, do a couple of other things. It is so charming. It is so neat. It's very interactive. There's going to be, yes, a little bit of quote-unquote meanness with folks stealing your friends, and doing that sort of thing. But if you get into the theme and the silliness of it, the lightheartedness of it, I think you're really going to enjoy this one. That is Fort. My number 8 is a game called Succulent, which is a lovely looking game in which you are, gardening and you are planting, spreading succulents, okay? So this one has a nice amount going on under the hood, but that theme is going to be very beautiful, very much a captivating theme. And if you or the person you're thinking about for this list is someone who loves collecting stuff and then fulfilling little recipes with that stuff, collecting different colored tokens, little flowers, right, if you would, and then spending those things to grab a card that's going to give them some bonuses, some victory points, then this is a good one for you. The board is going to grow very nicely. It sort of has a nice pace to it, the way it evolves. You can learn things as they happen in this game, so you don't need to sort of be overwhelmed with all the information at first. You can learn as you are going. Just learn how to place the little plants out first, gather some little goodies. Eventually, once you have enough, you can look over to the side of the board and go, "Ooh, I could do that now. I have the right colors for that. Great. I get this now." And I just find it to be a very welcoming game. It's an easy one for the most part to get into, but that theme is lovely. This is the kind of game that you can sit around and relax with on a slow afternoon or maybe an easy morning on the weekend. Succulent. Number 7 for me is Musical Chairs. Musical Chairs has, of course, the theme, which is cute. Very nice artwork, lovely. But this one's a good one for folks out there who are used to card games. People who enjoy Rummy, perhaps, or enjoy that kind of, a game in which you are trying to play out your cards, that sort of thing. In this one, timing is very important, as you would think in a musical chairs themed game. You are going to be playing cards, you're moving around the circle, trying to basically, quote unquote, sit at the right place. It's a little quirky. It's a little sort of hard to wrap your head around at first. Just mechanically, the way the things work in the game are a little strange sometimes. But once you internalize that little bump along the way, the game is lovely. This is the kind that hopefully keeps coming back to the table with friends and family, and you develop a natural rhythm with the game. It's very nice, great component quality as well. Musical chairs is a good one. Via Magica is my number 6, and this is a good one for a mixed age group. Younger kids could play this together with older friends or family. And it's also got 2 things in it that I would certainly say you want to check it out if you enjoy these things. The first one, adorable, cute fantasy creatures. They are all over this game on the cards. There are a lot of cute little monsters and things like that, but the illustrations are lovely. And then the second thing is, if you like bingo, or at least the idea of bingo. In this game, you are going to be someone calls out a type of element, so water, fire, that sort of thing, and you mark that on one of the cards in front of you. When you complete one, you score that card. You maybe get a little bonus as well. And you keep going until someone's done, 7 of them or so, and then the game is over. It's very charming. It is easy to set up, easy to play, nice and quick, and it has a little bit of that chip, idea to it where you can't just eat one, This one you're going to want to set up and play again right after you're done. So there you go, Via Magica. Every year, tons of party games come out, and my number 5 is a party game called Cross Clues. Now, Cross Clues is a word game, but it is a very easy, very sort of, it turns down the pressure that comes with most word games. In this one, you are going to be working together with everybody else, so that's a positive on that front. And then what you are doing is finding a combination of 2 words on the table, 2 concepts, 2 whatever it may be, and then giving a 1-word clue to try to get the rest of your friends to guess what you mean, right? So it might be banana and bus. You say yellow. Everybody takes a look at the board. They go, well, it's probably this and that. No, I think it's this one over here. Once everybody figures that out and they vote, if you're right, then you score that point. You all do, because you're working together. You can also adjust the difficulty, where you only have a 3x3 grid on the table. That's easy. You can go all the way up to 5x5, which of course has more combinations, is going to be a little bit harder. Lovely game, tiny package, so it's going to travel well, it's attractive, it's an easy game to explain, and this is a good one for, again, folks who might be a little bit intimidated by games of its ilk that attempt to add too much to the box. If you, for example, are someone who has played Codenames and you find it a little too intense, this is a good step down from that. It gives you the feeling of something like it without the pressure that comes along with it. Cross Clues. My number 4 pick is a game called The Grand Carnival. One that hasn't really been getting a lot of attention, unfortunately, but it is a fantastic game. It's got a cool theme, sort of a 1930s Mickey Mouse kind of look to it, which is, but it takes place at a carnival, and you are going to be drafting tiles that represent the walking paths and the sort of areas of your terrain that you can build on. You're going to be putting out these tiles, and then you are also gathering the rides. And you can put those rides onto your board. So you're sort of building 2 levels. You're building the grounds, and then the rides on top of that in front of you. You've got little visitors who are going to be moving around. They are traversing across your space, visiting different rides, giving you victory points, and the whole thing is just a few rounds and then it's over. But it's got a great quick pace to it. Turns are very fast. The concept is very clear. The game there's nothing obtuse about it. It makes sense. Oh, I see what I am doing here. Let me go ahead and accomplish that. And I found it to be very charming, very welcoming. This is a game that just, as soon as I was done playing it, it felt like the kind of game I had been playing all my life. And there's something about that really spoke to me. So check this one out, The Grand Carnival. Number 3 is Village Green. This is a small card game, and in some ways it's a bit like Succulent. Okay, Succulent is a big board game with tile laying and all these things going on. Well, this one is a small card game with a little grid, a 3x3 grid. You are going to be playing cards to different locations on that grid. They have beautiful artwork on them, and you are going to be scoring based on those combinations. Game's a little tricky, it's a little thinky, but to play is very easy. And what I mean to say by that is, this is the kind of game that is not going to wear out its welcome. You'll play the first time and just sort of internalize what's going on. You might not do so well that first time, but it's going to plant a seed, no pun intended, in your mind, and you're going to want to come back to this one and see how much better you can do the second try. And now that you know what's going on, I'm going to hold on to this card for just the right moment. So this one evolves. It has a nice evolution to it. And it manages to do all this, like I said, with a little deck of cards that comes in this lovely little box. So I recommend this one. I hope it doesn't fly under the radar because it deserves more attention. That is Village Green. My second pick here goes to a game called Marvel United. This one is a cooperative game as well. I find those to be very welcoming, very easy to play. And of course, Marvel theme is all over this. So if you or someone you know is excited by that intellectual property, this is one you are going to want to check out. This is a very light game. It's a very straightforward game, very simple. Some text on some of the content, but not a lot actually. And then the artwork is cute and chibi-esque, right? The characters have their big heads, their cute big eyes. So it has that going for it as well. If you like that style, you like that aesthetic, this is a good one for it. I enjoy it quite a bit. You are going to have some discussion going around the table, of course, as to how best to cooperate and defeat Ultron or Red Skull or what have you. And the game is going to be a short game as well. It'll be over in, 25, 30 minutes sometimes. So it's a good one. It's got some replayability where you can keep coming back and try different characters and try different bosses, bad guys that you are defeating. But again, it's just so easy to get into that the game will allow someone to jump in there because they like Marvel and then come out of the other end liking Marvel and board games. So this is a good one for that. Marvel United. And finally, my number 1 pick is a game called Trekking the World. And this is just a stunning, stunning looking game that is going to be great for folks that love the outdoors, folks that love traveling, of course, and just fans of light strategy games. In this one, you are going to be traveling around the world, of course, playing cards to move around, and then visiting different famous locations all over the planet, discarding the necessary cards, and gathering that location, visiting that location, taking that card and scoring it. It's got a little bit of that same feeling as Succulent, where you are collecting little things and then cashing them in for the fulfillment of that recipe, if you would. This one has that, but it has that gorgeous map as well. So if you like maps, you like movement on maps, you like that traveling, that traversal, Trekking the World is definitely going to give you that. And some nice light strategy as well. This is just a beautiful, beautiful game. And I think it makes a fantastic gift as well. So there you go. That is my number 1. And that's my list of top 10 welcoming games. I am curious to hear, which ones did I miss? What games have you found this year that you thought, this is a very warm game. This one feels like a familiar blanket wrapped around me when I play it. And I think it'll simulate that feeling and give that feeling to someone else as I show them the game. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this. So let me know again in the comments below. I'm Zee Garcia. I will see you on the next one.